Welcome to This Sacred Life and the Divine Feminine Spotlight. I'm Transformation Goddess, best-selling author, and award-winning producer Shan Vanderleek. Listen in for wisdom teachings and transparent conversations with soulful women about walking in beauty, reclaiming your feminine sovereignty, and celebrating the mystery and wonder of your sacred life. Welcome back to This Sacred Life. I'm Shan Vanderleek, and I'm so glad that you're choosing to be here with me again for this podcast. Today I'm going to talk about the healing that happens when women circle up and the magic that comes along with that. I think it's been about 7 or 8 years now since I first had my experience, my conscious journey around the sacred wheel of the 13 grandmothers. And the experience was just life-changing, rocked my world. I moved through this initiation with a group of women, some that I knew, some that were brand new to me, over a 2-year period of time. And the work was deep and sometimes messy and often hilarious and so incredibly healing. As I record this today on International Women's Day, and as I think about my conversation late last month with Lauren Elizabeth Walsh, I'm just called to continue to share more about circling up and more about why women need to come together. When I think about the women that I was initiated with the first time through this powerful healing and clearing, I think about the reverence and the respect that I have for each of them and how much I learned from each of them. We laughed and cried and freaked out and even felt like we were going crazy at times. And together we lost our way and found ourselves again and witnessed the joy and sadness of being human for each other and for ourselves. And I think about our initiation ceremony and how we spiraled back to the beginning of the wheel and circled inward and consciously came back home to ourselves. When women come together and share from the heart, we can heal ourselves and heal the world. We can let down our masks. We learn that we have permission to relax into who we are in the moment. We can be vulnerable and strong. We don't have to be one or the other. That we can choose to participate or choose to pass and say no. That we have a choice. We learn that we're not responsible for what other people think. We learn that we don't have to accept or respond to others' projections. And we learn to simply show up exactly as we are, where we are, no matter what. I've witnessed warrior women become soft, and I've watched quiet women find their voice and learn to stand their ground. Over the years, practicing resonance and grounding techniques, we became stronger in our bodies. The women I've worked with and partnered with and shared with, we've faced our shadows and still are, of course, working with them. We stepped into the responsibility of healing our lineage, and in doing so, healed 7 generations of women who came before us and the next 7 generations to come. This is powerful, profound healing work. And if you have been thinking about circling up, whether it's to work through the sacred wheel or the 13 grandmothers, or whether it's just to come together with a group of women and get real, I highly recommend that you follow through with it. I think about the journey that I was on and communing with the grandmothers and how the grandmothers gave us and gave me countless gifts and heavy blows to my ego. I remember walking through the forest on sacred ground, contemplating what I most needed to heal, which takes me back to one of our first healing weekends where we worked as a team, preparing food, sharing stories, drumming, singing, and received powerful healing in a sweat lodge that we actually built together. We went and felled the trees and built this incredible lodge. I remember thinking how wild it was to sit in this structure after building it together. Anyway, throughout that process, there were so many gifts that came forward, so much healing that happened for each and every one of us. I remember at the culmination of this particular gathering, we were asked to identify what we were ready to let go of to make space for the women we would become. And what came up for me is letting go of my inner tyrants hold on me, along with the insecurity that often would come up with the question, who am I to be, say, or do whatever it is that I want to do? And I remember wanting to let go of trying to remain small to make other people more comfortable, because I have the really big energy, like fills, the entire room and then the house and then the neighborhood, right? And so often that would freak people out. And I think in that freaking of other people out, it just became easier to kind of curl up and be a little bit quieter version of myself. That's not the case anymore, but I know it is for many women that I work with and partner with and play with. We still go back to that place of trying to be something other than who we really are to make other people feel good, to make other people feel better in our presence. I suspect that might resonate with you. After figuring out what I wanted to let go, I wanted to fill the space by opening myself up to receive more grace and compassion and self-love. Again, looking back, I can see that I've really continued to do this work, that compassion and self-love and self-care have really been at the top of my list for years now. I've grown as a woman. I feel I've crossed the threshold into adulthood finally. I'm really clear about what I'm responsible for. I've learned to ask for help, to trust the process. And trust and surrender is still a personal mantra of mine. It's written on a sticky note right now on my computer. Trust and surrender. This is highly recommended for control freaks, perfectionists, and high maintenance personalities. Can you identify? One of the most powerful takeaways over any period of time doing this kind of work is the value of circling up with a community of women, no matter what work you're doing. The gift of learning how to set a safe space or safe container anchored in love, which gives you the chance to receive what you need to receive in that moment in time with witnesses. I will forever be grateful to come away with a rich tapestry of friendship and storytelling and healing, prayer, creativity, and my teacher's ruthless compassion. And look forward to spending time with her again this summer as I get to participate and support another woman who is finishing up this very same work and be her stands behind sister through the process. That's going to be fun. A little bit about my teacher. I couldn't have found a better teacher than the woman who I started doing this work with many moons ago. Lorraine is powerful and brilliant and flexible and funny and creative, and she fills the room with this incredible, boundless, mothering energy, endless wisdom, and a deep, deep well of acceptance. She is so patient and has taught me so much about community. Here's what you can expect if you say yes to stepping into a community circle. You will experience women you connect with immediately. You will meet women who push your buttons and test you. You will meet women who remind you of people you've known before. You will see yourself in the mirror of the group's stories, which is incredibly profound. You will identify and meet your shadow and learn to shine your light in those dark and scary, sticky, shame-filled places. You will have a better understanding of why people behave the way they do. There's just so many nuggets of wisdom, so many gifts in circling up. More than anything, every woman brings value and teachings to her community. Every transformation goddess who says yes to dancing around the wheel is absolutely in for one hell of a ride. Healing happens when women circle up. And if you have been feeling like it's time to bring more sisterhood in your life, then do a little bit of research and step into Circle. They're available to you. They are happening all over the world. If you need more information, you can always go to the Global Sisterhood website that Lauren and I talked about last month and get yourself set up to either lead a group or become part of a group in your area. As always, thank you so much for listening to The Sacred Life, and I hope that you choose to circle up. Thanks for listening to This Sacred Life. If you like what you heard, please share this podcast with a friend or subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen in. And be sure to visit transformationgoddess.com to get a free album of guided relaxations for women who do too much.